This is my first video. I just want to put it out there. So please don't chastise me and, put me on a stake and crucify me if this doesn't go as well as planned. But like I said, I'm stepping out my comfort zone. It's all about growth. It's all about, action. It's all about putting ourselves in a better place. It's all about facing our fears. And really and truly, the year has just got started. The decade has just got started. And boy, what a crazy ride it has been so far. I mean, just look at the world in regards to politics, in regards to the economic impacts, in regards to natural disasters, in regards to just major events, in regards to lives being lost. And I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, there was the Trump, Iran, boom, bam, people talking about World War III. Thankfully, that didn't happen. There's all these fires in Australia, which is ridiculous. Believe it or not, these fires have been happening since September. That's crazy. There's even been, there's been so many earthquakes, like in the last couple of days and weeks. Like, that's crazy. Puerto Rico has gotten it pretty bad, and they're still recovering from Hurricane Maria. This has been a crazy year so far. And just for me personally, like, this past week has just been a huge eye-opener. Like last week, for those of you who don't know, I live in Miami, so I'm heading to work. I'm walking downtown. I always, I love to walk. It's a great, lovely place to be, especially right now. The weather is just amazing. So I'm walking to work. I get off the train. I see all these cops. I see fire trucks. I see all of this, and I'm like, man, what's going on? Something major just happened. I see a ladder on the side of a building. I see these cops getting on a roof. I see people on the high-rise looking down at this other roof. I'm like, what happened? This person jumped off a building and committed suicide, yo. On a Friday. Like, to me, Friday is like the most exciting, happiest day of the week. Not that it should be, because every day and every moment that you're alive and every day that you have breath and your heart is pumping blood is a blessing. So it shouldn't just be about Fridays and living for the weekend. But I just found it bizarre that, it's a Friday and this person just takes their life. And, life is short, man. I mean, a lot of people, as an example, a lot of people hate Mondays. Like, why you hate Mondays? Think about it, right? Think about it. Monday is the first day of the week. It's 7 days a week. Monday is 1/7 of your week. But most people hate Mondays. They dread Mondays. They hate their life on Mondays. And, the proof is in the pudding. Statistically, most, deaths related with heart attacks, strokes, and suicides occur on Mondays. Now, why is that? Most people escape from their regular day-to-day lives on the weekend. They party on Friday. They party on Saturday. They party on Monday. You pay it on Friday and you blow all that money in the weekend just to have a good time, to live it up. But then Monday comes around, you look at your bank account, your money isn't where it needs to be. You're going back to that same job that you hate, at that same desk or whatever the position is or whatever you're doing. You hate that boss or whatever the case may be. But a lot of people just dread Mondays. Like I said, 7 days a week, Monday is 1/7 of your week. Are you going to hate 1/7 of your life? Think about that. What kind of life is that to live? But hey, I'm just giving you things to think about, guys. Life is short. I mean, unless you live under a rock, I'm sure you heard of the unfortunate, untimely demise of Kobe Bryant. I mean, man, such a tragic story. Not only him losing his life, but his daughter, who was only 13, who was literally had such a huge, aspiring basketball career at her fingertips. And not to ignore the 7 other individuals who passed in that unfortunate helicopter accident. Now, there's so many things that we can take away from that situation alone. First being, people die every day, guys. And we all know it. People die every day. But it's only when it hits home, it's only when it's something that we know or we can relate to, then we feel the grunt of it, that we feel the urgency to really, like, man, I need to wake up. I need to smell the roses. I need to tell somebody I love them. I need to mend those relationships. It's only until it hits home that we're aware of it. But like, it's so cliche, but it's so true, the saying, which is, live every day like it's your last. And a lot of people don't do that. Because I guarantee for anybody watching and listening right now, if you found out that tomorrow was your last day and you had 24 hours to live, your mindset and your thought process would change in a heartbeat, in an instant. And why is that? Because you really and truly, if you had only 24 hours to live, you really probably wouldn't be stressing about all the things that you have going on in your life right now. Because guess what? You're going to be gone tomorrow. So you would probably do your best to enjoy those last 24 hours, try to do as many things that you wanted to do but you couldn't do, mend those relationships, say your goodbyes or whatever the case may be. But like, it's your last 24 hours. Are you going to go back to that job that you hate, doing the things that you hate, or being in that relationship that you hate? No. But like, that's the thing about life, because life is such a mystery. You never know where we're going to go. You never know the day, the time, or the hour. So like, ask yourself, like, am I living or am I existing? Am I pursuing my goals and my dreams, or am I working to build somebody else's dreams? Because life is short, man. And like, this whole situation of Kobe, like, it shook everybody, man. Not just Los Angeles, not just his family, not just the teams in the NBA, not just the United States on the whole, but the whole world. He has such a global impact. And the reality is, you know, everybody is going to be subject to the same fate, being death. Not in the same manner, but death in itself is something that is unavoidable. But the nature of the situation being Kobe himself being in his prime, 41, 4 beautiful daughters and a lovely wife, right? Just retired. He essentially already lived a full life in his basketball career. And he was literally on to the next one, you know, on to that new chapter. Like, this dude has so many plans for the future. I'm telling you. And to see it go like that, just like that, in an instant, right? He was literally at the game the night before with LeBron, congratulating him on beating the record that he had set. And in less than 24 hours, he was gone. And it's so sad. It really is so sad and tragic. My heart goes out to the family, to Vanessa Bryant, to his daughters, and the other families that are going through this trauma right now. But it's like, you can't, you know, us, and when I say us, on the outside looking in, we feel the pain, we're sad, we're depressed, but whatever we're feeling is literally a grain of sand, like a mustard seed, compared to the pain that those families are feeling. And a lot of people on a global scale are hurt by this. Like, genuinely, a lot of people were crying, a lot of people were depressed. Like, I felt something. I will never forget the day, the time, the hour, like where I was and when it happened. I almost cried. Like, I felt the tears come up, but I didn't cry. But like, I felt a really strong rush of emotions come over my body. And I'm like, man, if that's what I felt, I can't imagine the pain those families are feeling. I never want to feel a pain like that. Never. But here's the thing. We all know that that day will come. We just don't know when. And not just for ourselves, but our family and our loved ones. Like, my family, like my aunts, my uncles, they're all in their 60s, their 70s, some of them even in their 80s. Mind you, for the most part, they're in good, decent health. But at the same time, I have to be a realist. Like, they're getting old. I don't consider them old because, like, I've always seen them as young, vibrant, energetic people. But the reality is, at some point, they're not going to be here. And that's a fact that I have to accept in my life. And I have to be ready for when that moment comes. Because I don't want it to ever be a case where that person's gone just like that. And, oh, I wish I could have said this, or I wish I could have said that, or I didn't get to you know, do the things I wanted to do with them. It's tragic, guys. It's so true. I'm gonna go back to Kobe because, not like I said, I don't want to focus and emphasize on his death, as tragic as it was, but there's so many lessons that we can learn just from his legacy that he left behind, and that's what I really want to drive on this video here, guys. His legacy, because you have to figure out, like, what are you leaving? What mark are you making on the world? Not just in your life, not just on your family. What mark are you making on the world? Because the thing is, if Kobe had died in his 80s, his 90s, or whatever the case may be, you know, in his old age, he would have been still a legend, but it would have been, he lived a full life, he passed on, maybe natural causes or whatever the case may be. And we would feel sad he's gone, but we would also feel a sense of, man, he did a lot. We're so happy and he's gone, but we would accept it as it. But he died literally in the prime of his life at the age of 41. That is so young. I'm 26. That's not that far. 15 years away. He died at 41. And not only did he die at 41, but the manner in which he died, the accident in itself, is so... the dude had been flying in helicopters for 17 years. And in an interview, he had said the reason why he started taking the helicopter rides is to beat the California traffic, so he could be able to spend more time with his family. So he did it with a purpose. So it's so sad to see that someone so great and so magnificent in the sense of his accolades, his drive, his vision. He's a family man. He had done so much. And he had so much more to do. And to see it go like that is unfortunate. So I want you to ask yourself, what do you have to offer? What do you have to bring to the table? Because, like I said, I don't want this to be a depressing setting where it's like, man, Kobe's gone, this and that. But we literally need to take Kobe's life and his death and symbolically use that as a way to empower ourselves and move ourselves forward. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people, including myself, a lot of people are going to go really hard this year. And not just the basketball teams, not just the people who are closely related to him. I'm telling you, on a global scale, a lot of people are going to go so much harder this year just because of this one incident. It's sad that he's gone, but in a sense, it's a blessing for humanity to really make us look at ourselves and realize how precious and short life is and how easily it can go in an instant. And to not take our lives for granted, guys, because at the end of the day, regardless of whatever you believe in, I'm a firm believer of God, but for whatever you believe in, you have to realize that there's some supreme power. There is something in this world that we can't explain that keeps us waking up every single day. Because at the end of the day, you don't wake yourself up. Yeah, you might say my alarm and I woke myself up in the morning. No, you don't wake yourself up. You don't control that. You don't decide if you wake up today or tomorrow. You don't have that control. You don't control your breath. Yeah, you can voluntarily breathe in and breathe out, but in essence, you don't control your breath. You don't control the blood coursing through your veins. You have no control over that. And life is not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. Here today, gone tomorrow. Just like that. Right place, wrong time. Good people, bad places, bad people, good places. Whatever the case may be, life is short. So I really wanted to make this video because not only to speak to you, but to speak to myself. But ultimately, if I could at least impact or influence or inspire one person, then I did my job. Because I know for my future, I want to leave a legacy for my family, my children, my grandkids. I'm already thinking about my grandkids that aren't even born yet, because I don't even have kids right now. But I know the hard work and the effort and the determination that I'm putting in right now is going to pay over and manifest tenfold, generations beyond me. And that's my goal and my dream. Like I said, I'm originally born and raised in St. Lucia, a very small island. Population is about 170, 180,000, not that many people. To the point where on a lot of maps, it's just a speck that you may not even see it. And if you're lucky to even see it, they may or may not even have the name of the country on there. But I'm telling you, it's a gem in the Caribbean. It is one of a kind. It is literally heaven on earth, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong. Every country has its problems, politically, financially, environmentally. Yeah, we got stuff going on, We got a lot of things to fix, but I see so much potential in my island. I see so much greatness in our little country, our mighty country. We call them the bosoms of the Caribbean. In my mind, the pearl of the Caribbean, because we have the lovely one of a kind, or you can say two of a kind, pitons. Look it up, Pitons. Google it, St. Lucia, pitons. If it's one thing you want to do before you die, is to make a trip to St. Lucia. I'm telling you. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast, but I'm just showing you how proud I am of my heritage and where I'm from. And I see that I owe it to myself to give back to my country, because I wouldn't be who I am today had it not been for my upbringing in St. Lucia. I lived there my whole life until I was 17 before I then moved to the US. And I'm so thankful and grateful and blessed to be living here in this country, in this land of opportunity. But I do know I would not be the person who I am today had it not been for my upbringing, for the environment, for the life that I lived in St. Lucia. So I feel that I owe it to myself, to give back to my country, to see my country succeed and move forward. I want to leave, like I said, a legacy, not just for my family. Yeah, of course, I want my family to do well, but what can I do? Like, I want to be written about in the history books. It's not about me wanting to brag and boast and rant and rave, I'm so popular. No, I want to be written about in the history books for all the good deeds that I did, for all the things I was able to accomplish, for all the lives that I changed. Because I know if I can change one life, then I can change maybe 5 lives, or maybe 100 lives, or maybe 1,000 lives. But the point being is, if I can change that one life, who knows how many other people that one person can impact and how many lives they can change. Because that is the power of imagination, guys. And that's why I want to end here on this call, is the power of dreaming. Because I feel like a lot of us just forget about our dreams. We just throw them under the rug. Because we're told that we have to be realistic. We're told that, work a 9 to 5, go to school, get your degree, go work for a company for 40 years. Guys, it's 2020, guys. It's a new year, it's a new decade. It's time to wake up, if you know what I mean. It's that time. Like, so many people out here are just sick and tired of their job, or whatever it is that they're doing, or whatever the case may be. If it's your health, if it's the relationship you're in, your career, your finances, whatever the case may be, so many people are just sick and tired of being sick and tired. So it's time to do something about it. And the first step into doing that is having that goal, having that dream, having that vision for the future. As an example, for those of us who have had the opportunity and the privilege of traveling in an airplane, it's so easy. You get a plane ticket, you go on a plane, a couple hours later you're at your next destination. How incredible is that? But think about it, that didn't exist hundreds of years ago. It was a thought and an idea in someone's mind. The Wright brothers, and they were right to think so and do so, rightfully so, to make it become a reality, because they changed the dynamic and the industry of travel forever. Completely. And now we have rockets going out into space. I mean, guys, think about it. Thoughts are things. Everything you see around you in this world, everything from this table to the laptop to this pen, was a thought in someone's mind. To this phone that I'm using to record this call, to then upload it to the internet in itself was a thought in someone's mind. So don't let that go over your head. I'm saying that to say thoughts are things. You have a power within you to have that imagination, to dream big. Don't take it for granted, because if you don't use it, you lose it. Dreams are powerful, guys. That's at the end of the day, and I'll end the video. I'll end the video on this. You can either live. I'm sorry, I had chopping up my English. You can either live a life of design, a life by design, or a life by default. A life that you designed for yourself, that you manifest into reality, or a life by default where you're basically a victim of circumstances and you just a tumble of haze rolling in the wind, just basically subject to all the elements around you. So it's your choice. Do you want to live a life of default or a life by design? Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again on the next video. Have a great evening. Stay blessed. I love you all. Good night.